Ew! Alright, so we're at the park, ready to reveal our love story. So how did we meet? Well, we met in 6th grade. We were in the same class, we went to the same school. Creepy and awkward and a little scary. That's how I met, 6th grade.
I didn't talk for the first week.
Yeah, you did. You had to.
On Friday, I did not talk the entire week until the last day of
you
the...
had to because we did the math thing.
That was on Friday.
No, we did math every day.
And I answered the question on Friday.
Oh. Well, I went up there more than you did.
Yes.
You just skillfully avoided that.
Exactly.
Okay.
You were obnoxious.
I was not.
No, you weren't obnoxious. You were,
Peppy.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna go with. You
Peppy
were super
and
peppy.
bubbly.
Yeah.
And, oh, I had already been there for a year, so I knew everybody in the class, and you didn't.
It was my first year there.
Oh, so it was a private school, so.
Alright, how long have we been together? To the day.
6 years. July, August, 2 months, and some days.
12 days.
12 days. According to this video.
Yes, as of this video. Did we actually start dating in 6th grade? That's when we met.
No.
When did we start dating?
The last week of 8th grade.
No. Not even close. The summer in between.
8th grade and 9th grade.
Yes.
And we decided we would try it the last week of 8th grade. We said something like, like we can try it and see if we like it. And it's not like a permanent thing, right? And we're like, no, we're just trying it. We're just trying to see if we like it.
Who asked who?
Do you know the answer?
I know the answer.
Oh, I don't.
You don't remember?
I feel like you asked me.
I did ask you.
Okay. Yeah, because I would never...
Yes.
I would never initiate that, but I would be the one that'd be like, you asked me, so it wasn't my fault.
Yes,
So.
I asked you.
So we went to the same school for 6th and 7th grade, and then you moved schools, like we separated schools from 8th grade until senior year of high school, and then we went to the same school again. But we had pretty much been dating the whole time. And it was sort of like a normal teenage relationship where you just text all day and say like I love you, and
How often do we see each other the first year?
I would say once every couple months, 3 months. We'd text each other all the time, but like
All day,
actually
every day.
yeah, that's still the case. But like actually like seeing each other, and it was average about every 3 months.
How did our friends react to it? So we had the same group of friends since we went to the same school. They were not ecstatic about it.
May I add that we went to a private Christian school.
Yes.
So that kind of makes sense.
Well,
Anyway.
some of them were kind of like, well, that's against the rules. It's not what's supposed to happen. Two girls aren't supposed to be dating each other. But most of them were advising you to not date me
Why?
because I was a bad influence.
Which I'm sure you can justify that back then.
Yes, back then, for sure. But I was slightly rebellious at that school.
And also, like, the things that were considered rebellious there, yes,
Yes.
are rebellious, but at the same time, like, if you go to like, like a public school, they'll just be like, hey, stop, or I'm gonna call your parents. But they don't.
Yeah.
And it's
So, speaking of friends, you want to tell them how your parents found out?
Sure. So we had a mutual friend from school that was my best friend for a while until you came along.
I did not steal
and
her.
Stole my best friend.
Did not steal her.
I was very sour about that.
Did you even talk to me in 6th grade? You didn't talk to me in 6th grade, did you? Unless you had to.
Unless I had to, but it was also because I was just so mad at you. So this friend of ours was like our mutual best friend.
Yeah.
And so this is 8th grade now. Or was it 9th?
9th grade.
Okay, so this is like the beginning of 9th grade-ish. And so we had told our best friend, and she's kind of like, why? That was
a lot of other friends said was why.
Right.
Why are you two dating?
Like,
why are you guys
why?
together?
Right. So, our friend was actually over at my house, and we were on the phone. Yeah, we were on the phone, we were talking, and I was washing the dishes, and our friend was talking to my mom behind me and saying stuff, and I think my mom said something like, why don't you call her back, or something, and I was like, no, I don't want to, it's fine, da 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 da. And then I turned around, and our friend was like, they're together. Like, trying not to like shout because I was on the phone, but she was like, and Mom was like, yeah. And then Mom was like, why? She goes, I don't know. Yeah, that's how my mom found out. This was either the day after or a couple days after. I had went up to my mom and I was like, okay, well, just wanted to let you know that Michaela and I are dating, and I know that you already know, but I wanted to tell you. And she said something like, why didn't you tell me? And I don't remember what I said to that. But then she goes, okay, and we just kind of let the conversation die out. And then that night, my mom and I were in the kitchen, and she goes, so when are you going to tell your dad? And I was like, I don't know, when I'm ready. And then she looks over and goes, honey. And then, yeah, then I almost started crying because I was partially like mad / upset, but I was really just embarrassed because I told her I wanted to tell him when I was ready and I wasn't. And yeah, so my dad comes over, and I had said that I am bisexual and dating Michaela.
Oh, you told him you were bisexual?
I did.
Oh.
I said I'm bisexual and dating Michaela, and he goes, like, he didn't say anything, but the first thing he did say was, well, she can't come over and sleep over at the house anymore. And I was like, okay. And then, I don't know, something else happened, and I was crying, and it was not fun.
So
That's my coming out story.
Was upset that you couldn't come and do stuff with me. We always had to go to your house to do stuff, and I didn't feel a part of the family. So I was like, hey, can we, like, the four of us, the two of us and her parents, all sit down and talk to one another?
And we ended up in our living room. We were all sitting on the couch watching TV, and my mom turned down the TV so that we could talk. And then to make the story short, I had basically asked what it was that I could do to kind of start gaining their respect and being essentially part of the family. He went on a slightly long rant and essentially said that I'll never be part of the family. Ever since then, He's left a sour taste in your mouth.
We have not spoken a word to each other since.
No, he said thank you to you when you gave him a stripe.
Other than that, never.
Yeah.
Not a
Yeah.
word.
Let's talk about when you actually told your parents.
So I told my mom after 3 years. Told my dad 3.5 years in.
So how did your mom react when you told her?
She's like, okay. Okay.
And
Like I said, at that point, I think she probably already knew.
Mhm.
But
So what did your dad say?
he was upset that I wasn't like one of the first people to tell him. He was upset that I was one of the last people to tell him.
So when I first came out to my parents, I told them I was bisexual.
And I had considered myself a lesbian.
I don't know, that term never really sat right with me. I just said it because I was like, well, I mean, I like some boys, and apparently I like a girl. So the only other term I know that includes that is bisexual, so I must be bisexual.
Now,
So yeah, so the only thing that I knew that I fit into was bisexual, so I told them I was bisexual. And then, like I said, when everybody else in my family found out, they just said that I was a lesbian. And then my friends that I had basically like told about us, they were like, oh, so you're a lesbian? And I was like, yeah. That was usually my response, like, yeah. So, and now the whole world makes sense because I identify as demisexual / demi-romantic. They also call it demi-romantic. So that's basically like that I have to have like an emotional connection / bond with somebody before I can fall in love with them romantically. Does that make sense? That totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But let's talk about you.
me.
Yeah.
Well,
So when you told your parents and your family, like, you came out as
lesbian.
okay.
But that kind of the same thing. It never really sat well with me. I always called myself gay because it was just easier. I don't know. There was just something about calling myself a lesbian that I was just like, and even now saying it, I'm just kind of like, yeah. There's like
a little something in the stomach.
yeah, my stomach kind of turns a little bit when I say it, and I get like a lump in my throat when I say it. So I never really used that term. I always called myself gay, and that was
So now you identify as what?
straight
Why?
because I'm transgender.
So when did you come out as transgender?
May
Okay.
May of this year,
And
which
then-
was a while
a few
ago.
months ago.
It was a
Yeah.
while ago.
Okay, so, and then briefly explain, like, how you came to the conclusion
That I was straight or I was transgender.
that you're transgender.
I watched a video, basically. I was watching several videos, and it was kind of something that was kind of stirring up into me, that I was like, why do I identify with these videos so much? Like, I identify with the videos, I understand what they're going through.
You feel the same way, kind of
I
thing.
felt the same way. I kind of did a little bit more research, and then I had actually came about a video that BuzzFeed did of Jamie Rogers, who is another YouTuber.
Woo!
I came across his video about his whole transformation on testosterone, or T as it's called. And it just, I sent it to you. No, you asked me, is this what you feel like? And I said, I don't know. Maybe, yes, ? And I spent the entire day discussing it with you, like, am I really, like, is this really what I feel like? Like, am I really, is this really what it is? Like, has my entire life just been explained by one video? And that night I had called you, and I was a wreck that night. And we talked through it, and then I had came to the conclusion that yes, I'm transgender because I don't identify as a girl.
Okay, and because you are transgender, so that now means that you identify as a male.
As a male.
And who likes girls, which makes you straight. I say straight because you're still transgender, but you're also still straight. So,
right.
You're straight gender. Trans straight. Well, that's all for this video, so
See you next time.